Notice is hereby given of the regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Town of Westfield in the County of Union, New Jersey at 7 p.m. on the evening of Tuesday, August 25th, 2026, in Cafeteria B of Westfield High School, 550 Dorian Road, Westfield, New Jersey. The purpose of the meeting is to transact the regular business of the Board and to transact any other business to come properly before the Board. This is to advise the general public and to instruct that it be recorded in the minutes that in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, entitled the Open Public Meetings Act, the Westfield School Board on Thursday, August 20th, 2026, caused to be posted at the office of the Board of Education, located at 302 Elm Street, Westfield, New Jersey, and delivered to the Westfield Leader, NJ.com, the Westfield Library, Town Clerk of Westfield, Tap Into Westfield, District website, and patch.com, a meeting notice setting forth the time, date, and location of this meeting. Patty, we have a roll call, please.
Rob Bonaccio.
Here.
Kent Diamonds.
Here.
Patrick Duffy. Layla Morelli. Here. Sonal Patel.
Here.
Kristen Sonic-Schmeltz. Julie Steinberg.
Here.
Anthony Tessitore.
Here.
Mary Wickens.
Here.
Mary, would you lead us in a flag salute, please? All right, we'll move to announcements. Anyone have any announcements? Kent Yaba? Go for it.
As the new school year begins, we look forward to recognizing and honoring the rich cultural, historical, and religious traditions that reflect the diversity of our school community. Beginning with Labor Day, September 7th. The district will be closed, and there's much rejoicing. Patriots Day, September 11th. National Hispanic Heritage Month, September 15th through October 15th, and Rosh Hashanah from sundown on September 11th through September 13th. Together, we embrace these observances as opportunities to learn from one another and to deepen our understandings of the values, beliefs, and experiences that shape our shared community. Thank you.
If you have a present in your folder, you can read it. I'm not sure if there's one. Oh, there you go. Welcome back.
Back to school logistics. We're excited to welcome everyone back for the 2026-2027 school year. Staff will return on Wednesday, August 26th, and the first day of school for students will be Tuesday, September 1st. There will be an early dismissal on Friday, September 4th. We look forward to an amazing year ahead.
Mary. That did not work well,
Okay.
hiding that.
Back to school nights. District administrators and educators look forward to welcoming parents to back to school night next month. The back to school night schedule for this year is as follows. Elementary schools will be held on Thursday, September 10th. Intermediate schools on Thursday, September 17th. High school on Thursday, September 24th. And Lincoln School on Thursday, October 1st. Additional information has been or will be shared by building principals. The Parent-Teacher Council Special Education Committee is also hosting its annual Special Education Back-to-School meeting on Tuesday, September 22nd at 7 p.m. at Edison Intermediate School. Assistant Superintendent of Special Services and Student Support Services, Dr. Michael Weissman, and Special Education Supervisors Alex Linden and Kathleen Nishawat will join the Special Education Committee in a presentation and roundtable discussion with the latest updates and events for the special education community.
I think Les is Sonal.
The next regular public meeting of the Board of Education will be held on Tuesday, September 15th in Cafeteria B at Westfield High School, beginning at 7 p.m. The meeting will be live streamed via the district YouTube channel, which viewers can access on the board tab on the district website. The complete agenda will be available on Friday, September 11th.
Thank you very much. We'll move to the report by district administration. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, this evening, since we are starting the launch of the 26-27 school year with the welcoming back of staff and students over the next 7 days. I'd just like to be able to read the welcome back message that I'll be sending out to the community tomorrow, just highlighting what we have in store for the upcoming school year. As we get ready to welcome our students back on September 1st, I want to acknowledge the work that goes into preparing for a new school year. I'm especially grateful to all the staff members who work throughout the summer to prepare our schools and support our students, including office staff, administrators, custodial and maintenance workers, educators, and technology department staff. Their dedication and behind-the-scenes efforts help to ensure that our schools are ready to open their doors and provide students with strong instruction, opportunities, and support they need to succeed. As we enter year 4 of our strategic plan, I am especially proud of how much of the work now taking shape over and across our district can be traced back to the priorities our community established together. This strategic plan has truly served as our North Star, helping us to make decisions, stay focused on what matters for students, and move from ideas and planning to actual implementation and impact. We see that progress in many places. Our Unified Student Code of Conduct creates a more consistent, developmental, and educational approach to student behavior, emphasizing support, accountability, and helping students learn from their choices. Our ongoing conversations around AI, technology, and screen time reflect our commitment to using technology intentionally to enhance strong teaching and learning without replacing the relationships, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking that are essential to a great education. We are also seeing our long-term vision become tangible through the referendum projects underway across the district. These investments will expand and improve learning spaces and create new opportunities for students for years to come. Construction will be inevitably bringing disruption along the way, and we appreciate everyone's patience and flexibility as this exciting work progresses. At the same time, we continue to navigate significant budget pressures facing public education. Those challenges require us to make careful choices and continually evaluate how we use our resources. And this year, we'll be talking a lot about that as a board and as an administration and community. Our strategic plan will continue to help us keep those decisions grounded in our priorities and focus on what will have the greatest impact on our students. There's still much work ahead, and our strategic plan will continue to guide whatever comes next. As we move through this 4th year of the plan, we will continue to assess our progress, learn from what is making, and make adjustments where needed, and remain focused on ensuring that every student feels known, challenged, and supported. Thank you to our educators, staff, families, students, and Board of Education for the many ways you contribute to our schools. The progress we made belongs to all of us, and I'm excited about where we are headed together. Welcome back, happy new school year, and let's have a great year. In addition, I'd like to highlight, as part of my superintendent's report this evening, that the school district underwent our annual, or actually triannual, New Jersey Quality Single Accountability Continuum Review, which is commonly known as QSAC. QSAC is essentially the monitoring system that the State Department of Education puts in place to ensure that school districts are adhering to the requirements and best practices associated with operating school districts across 5 different district performance areas. That monitoring took place over the course of a period of time in the spring through a document review by the New Jersey Department of Education's County Office of Education, as well as an on-site review. As a result of that monitoring, after the district had a chance to provide evidence to support each of the indicators provided, we received confirmation that we were graded as a high-performing district with a placement across the board above the minimum threshold of 80%. In instruction and program, we scored 91%. In fiscal management, we scored 100%. In governance, we scored 100%. In operations, we scored 100%, and in personnel, we scored 100%. And it is worth noting in instruction and program, while the 91% does seem to be, appear to be an anomaly, it really represents 100% of adherence and compliance with all the required elements that were monitored. The offset of those points that we did not receive are based upon student achievement results. And those student achievement results are across content areas. It's across different indicators that look at growth as well as individual performance by each school and as a district. So again, the accumulation of all that puts the district well within the continuum to be identified as a high-performing school district. We're proud of all the work that contributed to that outcome. We are grateful to the administrators who contributed to that, Dr. Weissman, Dr. Bolton, certainly Dr. Greer. Working with all the schools to be able to pull the information necessary together was no simple task and required months and months of data gathering. In the end, we will not have to go through the review again for another 3 years. However, along the way, we're still required to adhere to the same requirements and elements that were monitored. So we will certainly continue to monitor our progress over the next 3 years until our next review cycle. All of that is part of the start of the school year report, but it also concludes my report this evening. So thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Any questions? Excellent. So normally we would be into committee reports, but since this is our first meeting, oh, I'm sorry. I'll get them. I got them. Don't worry. I don't forget Ben. He came in. Normally we'd be into our committee reports now, but since it's the first meeting of the year, our committees haven't had an opportunity to meet. I know dates are being set. So we'll get to those at our next meeting. We do, however, have a high school student report from our returning high school student rep, Ben Zhao. So Ben, the floor is yours.
It's great to be back. Obviously, nothing to report on now because the school year hasn't started yet. But I just want to say I'm looking forward to another productive, informative year on the board. But real quick, touching on this summer, I had the absolute pleasure of attending the Day of AI conference with Dr. G and Juliet Lerner, one of my classmates. For those of you who don't know, Jules and I served as the student senators representing New Jersey, where we collaborated with student senators from all 50 states to mock legislate a national policy on AI in education. And I just want to give a little summary of what we did. We were divided into committees where we got to propose amendments to the initial bill. After 12 approved amendments, 3 per committee, because there were 4 committees, were presented on the floor when we collectively reconvened. I was on the administrators committee and actually managed to spearhead passing one, which emphasized educator AI literacy. And you'll be able to find this complete bill if you search up the Students First Act. As many of us said, it's not perfect, but we need action, not perfection. On a more personal level, it was really meaningful to engage with with all sorts of perspectives and even build friendships with students from across the 50 states. It's not often that you get to speak with people, administrators on top of students from other states, and especially not about education, so I had some great conversations there, and it was an absolute privilege to attend. AI is obviously a pressing issue that's on all of our minds right now, and I think the conference has left us all with more knowledge and direction on things like implementation. I'm looking forward to seeing the next steps coming from Dr. G and this board, who are not only well-informed, but I know will be keeping the students' best interests at heart. I hope that I can serve as a point person from the high school in this regard as well. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to another great year.
Thank you, Ben. For those uninitiated, New Jersey passed a state law some time ago that requires a student member of the board, and Ben's sentiment of being that sounding board for the board was precisely the purpose for that. So we're looking forward to having you back, and we're looking forward to hearing the perspectives. It helps us guide. As far as our committees go, like I said, I mentioned we'll have committee reports next time. That doesn't mean the board hasn't been busy over the summer. As Dr. Gonzalez mentioned, there were a significant number of referendum and other construction progress starting, and there is definitely some budgetary items to be dealt with. Our finance and facilities committees will be busy, to say the least, with all of that. And lucky for us, we're bringing back a very experienced committee in that regard. On a curriculum end, there's a ton of work that goes into our curriculum over the summer. We did a significant amount of curriculum writing, new coursework as well. And I want to thank as well all of our administrators for taking that time there. We see vacation, they see a little bit less of that. So our curriculum committee will be addressing some of the new curriculum growth and some of those new items as well. And obviously, policy, personnel, and governance is very board-centered committee, board policies and such, but also ones that affect the district. We have some policies up today, including, with respect to cell phones. So it's going to be a pretty busy year on that front as well. If anyone in the public does have questions, things for the board, what do we do, how do we do it, certainly feel free to email any one of us. We'll either give you the direction to go to get that correct answer from the proper district representative, or if it's within the board's purview, get it assigned out to a committee to get it dealt with. Just, thought to start off with a reminder of process and procedure so that we can respond adequately to the public. And with that, it is time to recognize the public on agenda. This is on agenda action items only. These are the items that are color-coded on our agenda. Those are at numbers 8 through 12. If you're here to speak on something that is not agenda-related or meaning not to be voted on, there's a second public comment meeting portion at the end of this meeting. As a courtesy, we ask the public to allow current students and staff of Westfield Public Students to speak first. We request that individuals sign in and state their name, municipality of residence, and group affiliation, if applicable, for the record, the specific action items they are commenting on, and we ask that all remarks be directed to the board president or their designee, not to individual members or staff. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding personnel matters are discouraged and cannot be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. If a matter concerning a district staff member is of interest or concern to a resident, the matter should be referred to the responsible building principal, the superintendent of schools, or the Board of Education, either by telephone, letter, or email. Although the board may not respond to items raised during the public forum, all public comments will be considered. Please note that if any member of the public becomes disruptive during the meeting, the board president may terminate the participant's statement. Continued disruptions may result in removal from the meeting or adjournment of the meeting. Each speaker's statement will be limited to 3 minutes in duration. Seeing no comment on agenda items, I will move to our action items. We'll start with approval of the minutes from the June 16th, 2026 regular board meeting and the executive session. I will make a motion to approve those minutes. May I have a second, please? Kent, we can do this probably by voice vote. All in favor? Any opposed?
Patty, I might have to abstain. I wasn't in the exec session. You don't have to abstain. So I can. One vote on it. Okay, then.
Okay. So, any opposed? And we know now no abstentions. Next, I'll move the governance items on the agenda. I ask the board to approve item A under the governance section of tonight's agenda. May I have a second, please? Second for Layla. Any questions, discussion? Patty?
Rob Bonaccio,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Patrick Duffy, Layla Morelli,
Yes.
Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic Schmeltz, Julie Steinberg,
No.
Anthony Tessitore,
Yes.
Mary Wickens.
Yes.
All right, that carries. We'll now move to the personnel items on the agenda. Sonal?
I'd like to move items A through RR under the personnel section of tonight's agenda. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Kent. Before we vote, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead, Dr. Gonzalez.
So this evening, we do have one retirement to recognize, Jill Nemchek. Jill Nemchek has been a dedicated member of the Jefferson School community for the past 20 years. She's serving as a head secretary with warmth, professionalism, and unmatched commitment. Throughout her time at Jefferson, she has supported students, family, staff, and 3 different principals, always helping the main office feel welcoming and organized. Jill is known for greeting everyone with a big smile and a genuine enthusiasm, creating a sense of comfort for all who enter the school. With her youngest child having graduated in June, the timing of her retirement marks an exciting new chapter as she prepares to relocate to South Carolina and trade school bells for ocean waves. Jill will be greatly missed, and we thank her for 2 decades of devoted service to the Jefferson School community.
Can I just echo that a little bit? Jill saw both of my children through Jefferson and was just endlessly generous, kind, and went above and beyond for me and so many other people, also for the entire staff through multiple administrations. I saw it over and over again, and I just cannot echo your comments. She will really be missed in the community.
Sure.
I wish her nothing but the best.
Thank you. Patty?
Rob Bonaccio,
Yes.
Ken Diamond,
Yes.
Patrick Duffy, Leila Morelli,
Yes.
Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic-Schmelz, Julie Steinberg,
Yes.
Anthony Tessitore, Mary Wickens.
Yes.
Next, Kent, the finance and facilities items, please.
Excellent. I'd like to move items A through W under the Finance Committee section. Before I ask for a second, I'd like to highlight the donations. We're starting this year off with a bang. We have 3 donations I'd like to call out. The first one is anonymous, $10,000 for new canopies for student picnic tables at Roosevelt, much needed. Secondly is from the Westfield Soccer Association, Youth Soccer Association, for $27,500 for lawn care at the Elm Street Field. That's very generous. And last, the Westfield United Fund is donating a buddy bench, estimated value $1,568 for the McKinley Playground. So tonight, we have $39,000 worth of donations. We're off to a great start. May I have a second, please? Sonal, thank you.
Okay. Rob Bonaccio,
Yes.
Ken Diamond,
Yes.
Patrick Duffy, Leila Morelli, Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic-Schmelz, Julie Steinberg,
I'm going to abstain on P, but yes to the rest.
Anthony Tessitore, Mary Wickens.
Yes.
Next, policies. Sonal, would you move so the first thing we're going to do on the policies, just real quick, we have a policy coming up, the student use of personal internet-enabled devices. I didn't give you the heads up on this. So, typically, we would do a second reading on that. We would do this in 2 readings, but because this needs to be approved prior to the start of the school year, and we unfortunately only received the policy guidance slightly prior to the school year, we're in a position where we have to get this approved sooner than later. So before we get to that policy, oh, it actually is in the wording. Okay, so perfect. So in the course of this, when we move policies, we'll be moving not only just to approve them, but with respect to the personal cell phone policy, to actually suspend the bylaws to allow it to be approved under 1 reading, just for clarification of that. I don't think, we won't need to. It's in the writing. So we can just do A and B and we'll be good.
Rob, can I ask a question as
Sure.
a point of inquiry?
Yep.
Can we, just because of the unusual nature of what we're doing and also because there's been so much interest in this space, could we just kind of summarize for the record what this policy is about? Because I do think it's a very valuable policy and it's very responsive. Is that possible?
Sure. The State Department of Education last year released guidance in response to the governor's signed legislation and signed law that the school districts throughout the state of New Jersey would implement a bell-to-bell personal internet device ban. And what that means is during the course of the school day, students would not be permitted to bring in or utilize personal internet-enabled devices. And that mouthful of a phrase is intentional because it is not intended to just simply end at cell phones, but it also applies to smartwatches, smart glasses, or even students' own personal devices if they have access to the internet. So the guidance that we received in response to the law was to be able to develop a policy that would be consistent with providing that framework both during the day and to identify outside of the school day what the permissions or restrictions would be by grade level. So we have a K-5, 6, 8, and 9, 12 grade band that allows the district to make determinations whether or not to permit or restrict the use of cell phones or personal internet devices after school, on buses, at school-sponsored events and things of that nature. In addition, the policy is required to also include the direction to the administration that we would be responsible for identifying any consequences if the policy was not followed. So if the policy that required the prohibition was not followed, then the administration would have to follow a specific disciplinary code that they would spell out in a regulation. So as a result of the law being enacted, the policy is in essence now finalizing what had in many ways reflected the practice of the school district before, but really puts it into more concrete terms throughout the entire school day. And I think that's important to note. This means that during instructional time and non-instructional time, from the moment students enter to the moment students leave, cell phones, smartwatches, smart glasses, and personal internet devices will not be permitted used by students, with exceptions being noted for students who may have needs identified through any sort of documented medical, academic, or other plan that is also provided for in the policy as well as the regulation. So we want to make sure that teachers are aware of this, educators are aware of it, as well as parents are aware of it, so that they work together to ensure that this policy is implemented, but also still supportive of students who may use it for anything from executive functioning to possibly even managing their own health needs as it is required. So with all of that, the policy provides that framework, and the regulation then provides a lot of the details. This is new in some ways in terms of some of the levels of specificity. So the administration over the summer worked diligently trying to carve out the different areas, but also making sure that we are explicit in our work to support students when exceptions would be made, as well as when students would be able to use it at the various levels of their schooling experience. So essentially, from kindergarten through 8th grade, all of the personal internet devices are not permissible during the day or during any school activity, which is, again, as I mentioned, consistent with our past practice. At the high school level, during the day, personal internet devices will not be used, but after school, when students get to participate in clubs, activities, if they're going on away to games or performances, cell phones or other personal internet devices would be permissible. Again, recognizing the developmental differences between students in an elementary, middle, or high school setting, those were the considerations that were made. This, as a big deal in this district as well as throughout the state, is going to be something that we're going to watch closely. We're going to monitor to ensure that this is both supportive and productive in its implementation, not intending to be a source of frustration for anyone, but really trying to allow this as an opportunity to keep the focus where it belongs, which is on students' academic, social and emotional well-being, and we're looking forward to seeing the impact it has on our schools in the coming year.
Sound good? Okay. Patty?
We didn't do. You
Oh,
didn't
we
make a
haven't moved
motion
yet. Yeah, go right ahead. Sorry. Boy. First
Okay.
meeting. What can I tell you?
Okay. Where am I? Okay, I'd like to move items A and B under the policy section of tonight's agenda. And as just discussed, a policy A is to approve the suspension of bylaw 0131, so we can adopt policy P5516 before the start of school. And B is to approve 9 policies for second reading. Can I have a second? Thank you, Julie.
Okay. Rob Bonaccio,
Yes.
Ken Diamond,
Yes.
Patrick Duffy, Leila Morelli, Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic Schmelz, Julie Steinberg,
Yes.
Anthony Tessitore,
Yes.
Mary Wickens.
Yes.
Okay, and last set of action items is curriculum instruction and programs. Kristen's not here, so I'll jump on that one. I asked the board to approve items A and B under the curriculum instruction and programs portion of the agenda. Item A is the approval of student teacher candidates for the upcoming school year, and B is a district field trip. May I have a second, please? Julie? Any discussion? Go ahead.
Rob Bonaccio,
Yes.
Kent Diamonds,
Yes.
Patrick Duffy, Layla Morelli,
Yes.
Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic Schmeltz, Julie Steinberg,
Yes.
Anthony Tessitore,
Yes.
Mary Wickens.
Yes.
I will call the board's attention to the notes for the record. There was no unfinished business or new business submitted for this agenda. Since it's our first meeting, we will not have, I don't think, anyway, any liaison reports. For the public's edification, each of the board members, the board has certain liaison responsibilities with each of the district schools and with certain outside committees, for example, the Rec Commission, UCESC, the Educational Service Commission, et cetera. We appoint board members to serve as liaisons to each of those. The list of who is appointed where will be posted probably on the next couple of days. And from the school's perspective, the PTOs will get notification of who their board members' liaison is, as well as the outside committees. These are great ways for board members to get back into the districts and to also experience some outside work. For example, the New Jersey School Boards Association and UCSC, who is essential in providing special services to students in the county, as well as our Rec Commission. We certainly have a lot of commonality in use of fields and things with the district. So that'll be posted, and as the year goes on, this section will be reserved for those reports. And with that, I will recognize the public for general action items, for general items. During this portion of the meeting, members of the public are invited to address the Board of Education on any topic. As a courtesy, please allow current students and staff of Westfield Public Schools to speak first. The board requests that individuals sign in and state their name, municipality of residence, and group affiliation if applicable for the record, and asks that all remarks be directed to the board president or their designee, not to individual board members or staff. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding personnel matters are discouraged and cannot be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. If a matter concerning a district staff member is of interest or concern to a resident, the matter should be referred to the responsible building principal, superintendent of schools, or the Board of Education by telephone, letter, or email. Although the board may not respond to items raised during the public forum, all public comments will be considered. Please note that if any member of the public becomes disruptive during the meeting, the board president may terminate the participant's statement. Continued disruptions may result in removal from the meeting or adjournment of the meeting. Each speaker's statement will be limited to 3 minutes in duration. Okay. Sorry.
Hi, ready?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Hello, my name is Danielle McKaylee, and I'm here representing Parents for Mindful Tech in Westfield Schools. Our team spoke at the June board meeting and submitted a letter of community requests for mindful and balanced technology use in our schools. In June, the letter submitted had approximately 300 signatures, and we now have 432. On August 17th, we sent an email to the Board of Ed that has 2 linked documents. One is a draft gap analysis, which provides a structured framework to identify gaps in current district policy and supplies references and resources. To establish a clear, accurate, and collaborative baseline of the district's existing technology policy landscape, it would need to be further populated by the Board of Ed. We would be happy to work collaboratively with you to further populate this document and to review and update district policies. Parents for Mindful Tech in Westfield Schools requests a meeting with the Westfield Board of Ed to further discuss the gap analysis. The other document sent is an executive summary of the requests from the June 16th letter. We want to express our appreciation for 2 important recent changes: the removal of YouTube for elementary students and the elimination of one-to-one devices for our youngest learners. Whether these changes came about as a result of our requests or if they were ideas that already had been set in motion, we are grateful that parents and the district are aligned in understanding the need for change. These new policies are a tremendous step towards creating digital guardrails for all students. We ask the Board of Ed to consider taking immediate action on the following 4 items. Number 1, remove YouTube for intermediate students. Number 2, remove all generative AI for both elementary and intermediate, including Google Gemini Direct Access and tools that were recently made available for K-12 as of August 2026. Emerging evidence from the Brookings Institution study that we linked in our original letter, as well as many studies, raised substantial concern that use of these tools is undermining foundational development and critical thinking skills, and there is risk of exposure to inappropriate content and negative mental health impacts. When NPR reported on this study, they pointed out that students who use generative AI are already showing declines in content knowledge, critical thinking, and creativity. Number 3, implement an allow list for K-8 web browsing so students only have access to what is supportive for educational purposes. The Internet User Agreement that parents signed last week, which has not been changed in several years, states that this is the policy in place, but it is not the case in practice. We ask that you update content filtering to align with what parents are consenting to. Here is a direct quote from the agreement. Elementary students will only access the internet under teacher or aide supervision, limited to predetermined or bookmarked sites. Unsupervised surfing is not permitted. Grades 6 to 8 will have filtered internet access, blocking non-instructional sites. Students are not allowed to surf the net without supervision. Number 4, lastly, we ask that you establish a committee to kick off a technology audit of both screen time usage by grade level as well as educational technology apps that are being used in the classroom. My teammate Melissa will now speak more about the audit of EdTech apps. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Melissa Morano, and I'm here to represent Parents for Mindful Technology in Westfield. I am speaking tonight to urge the board to conduct a comprehensive district technology audit using an established open source framework called the EdTech Triangle. Developed by everyschool.org, the EdTech Triangle is the first research-based model designed specifically for evaluating classroom technology. Functioning much like a nutritional food pyramid, it categorizes digital tools into 4 clear tiers based on peer-reviewed research on student achievement and child development. Transformative tools are at the top. They build high-level skills to produce a unique outcome to develop a high-level skill that otherwise could not be developed with the traditional use of a pen and paper. An example would be the use of a merge cube to allow students to visually inspect and manipulate complex 3D objects such as a human heart, DNA strand, or the solar system, holding them directly in their hands. Supportive tools supplement learning in meaningful ways, such as virtual field trips, cultural archives, and differentiated reading platforms, and should be used in moderation. The third tool is restrictive. Substitute for proven traditional methods without adding educational value, such as digital worksheets or prioritizing typing over handwriting in early grades, and should be used sparingly. At the base of the EdTech triangle are disruptive tools. They hinder learning through excessive gamification, screen-based homework, or privacy and focus compromises and should be avoided whenever possible. This framework is gaining strong national momentum. The American Academy of Pediatrics explicitly highlights the EdTech triangle in its guidance for schools and an evidence-based evaluation tool. Leading advocacy organizations like Fair Play and Protect Young Eyes distribute it to district tech directors as a modern upgrade to older models because it directly factors in student mental health and cognitive development. What makes this model so critical is where the guidance comes from. When deciding what tools belong in our classrooms, we shouldn't have to rely on vendor sales pitches or expect our administrators who already have full plates managing district operations to double as research scientists. Instruction works best when it's driven by independent peer-reviewed data from child development experts. The EdTech triangle gives us what clear, objective baseline grounding our technology choices in solid science rather than personal preference or administrative guesswork. Districts across the country are already putting this into practice. Pacific Road Unified in California formally built the EdTech triangle into its board-approved technology plan. Santa Barbara County, Montgomery County in Maryland, and Arlington Public Schools in Virginia use it to audit software inventories and set screen time guardrails. Our neighboring district, New Providence, adopted the EdTech triangle as the foundation for its Balanced by Design strategic plan, establishing clear grade level boundaries while creating complete transparency among leadership, teachers, and parents. A technology audit using this model isn't about eliminating technology, it's about intentionality. By inventorying every software license our district pays for, we can eliminate redundant, low-value tools in restorative and disruptive tiers. Thank you for your time and dedication to our students. Parent for Mindful Tech in Westfield welcomes the opportunity to meet and discuss further. Thank you.
Now I think we're good to close public comment. Thank you very much. I had mentioned earlier that the board has a series of committees that, works to address things that are within the board's purview. I'm happy you came out, early in the year. And I know Dr. Gonzalez and I were just chatting, we can certainly, there are some things that obviously are within the district's management responsibilities with respect to technology. There are others from a policy and curricular perspective that are certainly worth discussing within the board committees as well. So we'll be sure to take those under consideration. And it's a great time to, at the beginning of a process, to start including these among the items for discussion in committee where appropriate. So thank you very much. I think most people here see tech education as important, but also, ensuring the safety of our students is a partnership. You made a solid point that, as much as the district, works hard to keep content the way it should be, as fast as we find some restriction, someone else is working to get around it. And it doesn't necessarily mean the students either. A lot of these are the companies that are doing this stuff. So I appreciate the partnership and, where we can do it. Let's see if we can keep moving things forward. So thank you again. All right, and with that, the board has an executive session to end the meeting. So I ask the board to approve the following resolution. Be it resolved that the Board of Education move into private session for the purpose of discussing matters rendered confidential by state and federal law, including legal matters. And be it further resolved that any discussion held by the board which need not remain confidential and the results of the discussion will be made public as soon as practicable. Finally, be it further resolved, following the executive session, the board will adjourn without returning to public session. May I have a second, please? Anthony, second. Which is all in favor, just vote by hand. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? We are in executive session.
It's always like this time of year. All right, I'll see you. See you tomorrow, yeah.